In the realm of warriors we claim our might, with strategy tight and teamwork supreme. In the game of kings we achieve our dreams. Feel the power, unleash the roar. Viking King, we're taking the throne. Through every game we've grown and we've shown, with courage in hearts and fire in our veins. The saga continues through victories and pains. Feel the power, unleash the roar. Viking King, we're taking the throne. Through every game we've grown and we've shown, with courage in hearts and fire in our veins. The saga continues through victories and pains. So gather my brothers, the night is our stage. In this epic journey we write our own page. Whoa. So gather my brothers, the night is our stage. In this epic journey we write our own page. Viking King, we're taking the throne. Through every game we've grown and we've shown, with courage in hearts and fire in our veins. The saga continues through victories and pains. Whoa. We're the rocket brigade. So gather my brothers, the night is our stage. In this epic journey we write our own page. Whoa.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? VKG is back. We're back again for the 6th episode of Behind the Wheel. Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday morning. You know why we're tuning in morning? Because we got another amazing guest all the way from Gatwick, England, one of the biggest airports out that I hear. But the time changes but we're about a 12-13 hour difference here. This man has been grinding. He's already been up today grinding. He's got a big race with some of your favorite sim racers. He's a Sim Magic man, which is a little bit different. We've had Thrustmaster guys. We've had Moza guys. We've had Fanatec guys. Now we got a Sim Magic guy, so I'm excited. Another ACC racer. You guys may have known him. He's my good friend. Let's go ahead and introduce him, man. Marley Diesel. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? You are live, sir, behind the wheel.
Behind the wheel. Here we are. Hello. How are you, mate?
I'm good, brother. Doing? How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really good. We've just had dinner, and it's sort of four o'clock in the afternoon. It's just got dark over here, so yeah, it's a Sunday afternoon, and we're gonna get racing soon after we've done this. So,
you guys enjoying lunch while Misa's making breakfast.
Yeah. I had to have my dinner early because I'm doing this race with Hoggy today. So
if I get this right, you guys have already started the race, right? Because while we've been sitting here, you've had to do a qualifying lap real quick and then kind of send Hoggy out. How's that working out right now? Because I know that you're multitasking a lot. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so Hoggy right now is sorting out his stream and everything, and he's done quali, but I think he's having a few problems, so he is just going out and gonna run some laps. So we're going to start at the back of the pack in the 4.5 hour Red Bull Endurance. But there's so many incidents in these races that it don't really matter. And me and him love racing together. Like we get on so well. So. And I know he's been a guest of your show already as well. So.
Yeah, man, we love Hog around here. I think probably I can't pinpoint exactly where I ran into you, whether it was on Rory's stream or if it was on Hogson's stream, but it all kind of leads back into Rory anyway. So we'll just say, through that whole UK connection, everybody across the pond, man, you guys have definitely grown into an awesome friend group that I have. I love hanging out with Hogston. We got a lot in common. Love hanging out with you, Marley. We have a lot in common too, since we've learned, just kind of shared our spiritual paths and, being fathers and, having families that, come from all different areas and bringing people together and being kind of heads of our house and then being sim racers. So I got a lot of respect for you, man. A lot of respect, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here today. All the multitasking and everything that you're doing to overcome the frustrations of this morning. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Oh, mate, it's no problem. It's just part of life, isn't it? It's life gets in the way of fun sometimes, and like you know, but I work full time, so I only get to stream occasionally, or like
Mhm.
4 times a week. So it's like quite important to me when I do it, and I want to do really well. So yeah,
We're
it's
about to find out how important this is to you. I don't see if I've seen a more dramatic room change yet than what you've done. I know Eric B. the Realist has an amazing room. Greasy, he's also building out an amazing room. You guys have, it's amazing when I see how much dedication goes in to, you know, sim racing itself. There's no other video game like it. There's no other community like it. Like, the investment into this is so important. And I think that's what really, once we understand the investment from each and every racer, I think we understand kind of the passion behind the channel and understand the emotion that goes into sim racing and why we take this so serious. So I'm excited to get into that, man. This is gonna be a lot of fun. So
yeah.
I like to give you a chance. I like to always give everybody a chance to introduce yourself. Tell us kind of where you're from, how you got here, maybe how maybe me and you kind of got acquainted, where you remember that. I know that your channel is going through monetization. You just got that accomplished a few months ago. You've been here for like 18 months. The channel's, you know, we've had growth. We've probably had your ups and downs with this. Kind of tell us who you are, where you're from, and then we're gonna dig into why you got behind the wheel.
So obviously, I'm Marley Diesel. My real name is Carl. I live in the southeast of England, and I am a husband and a father. I've got 5 children. I have 2 daughters and 3 sons, ranging from 15 years old up to 29 years old. Yeah, 29 years old. And married to the wonderful Mrs. Marley for 16 years this January. I I got back into sim racing at the start of COVID, and yeah, it's kind of gone from like a bit of a hobby, wanting to do stuff because I was put onto furlough, working like 3 days or 2 days a week. I can't even remember now. It's so long ago. I've slept and stuff since then. So and I started off with a sort of basic G29 wheel and a play seat challenge, and then over the years it's grown into the monster that is here now. What you guys see when I
It,
stream
it is quite a
now.
monster, man. You got the whole room and everything. You got the color scheme. You got so much going on back there, man. Let's talk
Yeah,
about that for a sec. I'm gonna pull up some graphics here, and we're gonna kind of talk. Let's jump in because I think the thing that I'm honestly most excited about, not I wouldn't say most, but since I started seeing these pictures, I just want to know how much like this is. We're gonna show right now. This is the end result. This is what Marley gets to gaming. You got the curved screen, you got the ceiling mounted screen, you got the paint scheme going, you got the big GT Omega chair. That thing is beautiful, man. Tell us what you got going on here for a second, then we'll get into how it started.
well, I've got the G5 screen, I've got the PC, I've got the Sim Magic stuff, I've got the Stream Deck, I've got the GT Omega Prime seat. I've self-funded a lot of this, although just recently I have had an enormous amount of help from a couple of really good guys. Um, so yeah, it's
We're showing the
you'll
room
be
before now. So how did you decide? Did you just kind of walk down there and be like, this right here is going to be my safe space? That's what Augie calls it.
yeah, no, it's not quite like that. So I started out sim racing in front of my TV, in front of my TV in the front room with my PlayStation 5 on Gran Turismo. We just used to I just used to play Gran Turismo and race, and I started getting into it quite heavy and everything. And then I wasn't very quick, so I went searching for videos to watch, and I started watching Key, and then I found Rory, and then I left Key alone, and I sort of stuck with Rory, and I just kept on like being in his streams, watching how he raced, watched his earlier when I was watching him at the start, he was into ACC as well, but um, yeah, it was all about Gran Turismo for me at the time. So I was really watching his lines, his breaking points, and then obviously watching him, and then you start watching the others that he sort of hung around with because he
Right.
teamed up Jardier a couple of times on ACC. So like it all
I like
started
Jardia.
snowballing.
Shout out Jardia too. That's a fun
Yeah,
channel
yeah,
to
yeah,
watch.
yeah. Mate, yeah, it
So
is,
much
and
info.
I like I started getting involved in the community, and then like started supporting Rory, and then Rory made me a mod on his channel, and I got to meet all the amazing mods, and like me and like so back in the day, I raced Freddie, amateur Gran Turismo driver. So I raced Freddie, just didn't know him, but when we were racing, like a few times we raced properly, fairly close, didn't hit each other, and we started talking over PSN, and then we started talking on WhatsApp, and then we sort of just started like I built a friendship with Freddie over computer gaming, and then we were in Rory's stuff, and we joined that, and it just all snowballed and everything. And really, it is like the sim racing community has become quite something in the last couple of years. It's
Right.
been it's such a safe place for people to hang out. There's many things that have happened in the community, emotional help, all that kind of stuff. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, just what I've seen in my early, I've been here. You said I think you've been here for 18 months. You said I've been here for about. I'm going. This is like the end of my 7th month. What the most impressive thing to me is like how much this community comes together and has each other's back. I know we've talked a little bit on just kind of how we feel about engaging with our community, the kind of attitude we want to have on stream, the kind of community response that we want to have, and it's really awesome to see everybody who's helped out Hoggy. It's awesome to see when Rory reaches out and supports people. I know that you guys in the UK have a pretty close knit group there. You guys have actually come together for the expo not too long ago. I know that you were a part of that trip, and you had like Sparks out there and Dutchy, Hogston, Rory, all those guys. What was the expo like, man? Did you have some fun out there? And I know that there was a like an expovid, or like everybody coming back from it seemed to get sick and stuff. So prayers were going out to you guys. Everybody was hoping you guys were all right. But tell us a little bit about the expo and what it was like coming back from that.
But the expo was really fun because like it sort of came up and everyone was talking about it, and I think I just said I wanted to go, and then it sort of snowballed into let's do it kind of thing. And then we like okay, let's do a road trip, and then so like I drove, stole Mrs. Marley's car for the weekend. I drove. I had Rory in there. I had Sparks Theory. I had
Hoggy was telling
Hoggy.
us.
And then we had Flipping Heck, who
You guys
is one of
Flip It
the
Eck too? I didn't know Flip It Eck was there. That was the other
yeah.
one.
So he was a legend, man. He drove down from Leeds. He picked Hoggy up on the way down. Rory came to my house after a short detour because he got lost. But then we all left here and we stopped on the motorway and we picked Sparks Theory up from a hotel just off the motorway, and then we hit the tunnel. Like it was like a 10-hour car journey with the stops because we stopped regularly because like obviously Hoggy's got his injury, he needed to stretch his leg. So it was like all around that. It was just us guys coming together and wanting to go out there and go and see what's going on in the sim world for this year, next year, all the new kit that's coming out. But obviously, Rory's like Mr. 174,000
Yeah,
subscribers.
Rory's a legit celebrity now for sure.
Yeah. But he's legit just an honest, open guy as well. And yeah,
So
we
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 heard
all call each other friends now. So it's
that,
pretty
dude.
cool.
That's special. I remember talking to Hoggy about what we were talking about, the pressure must have been like for you to have all those guys in the car and to be responsible for all that. How about you tell us what that was like? I mean, because if you were to add up everything, all those channels and stuff, there's a lot of people who care about everybody that's in that car, man. You included.
Yeah, I just made sure I didn't crash. That's about it, really. It was
To be
just
sim
fun,
racers, yeah.
Yeah. I got these sim racers. We're driving down the autobahn. We're in a Vauxhall Zafira, just chilling, just having a really nice time, just chatting, talking about all kinds of things together, all to do with sim racing, obviously, and sort of getting to know each other, sort of figuring out how we all sort of interact together because we hadn't actually met. I've met Rory. I met him at the Brands Hatch GT um, race earlier in the summer or the summer before. Actually, I can't remember. I've met Rory before anyway, so like me, I was quite comfortable with him. But I'd never really met Sparks, never really met Hoggy or Flipping Egg. But the five of us really bounced off of each other really well, and it was really good fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I needed that more than people realised as well.
I've heard
So
that. I've heard that from a couple of folks who went out there who said that just seemed to be a really validating, amazing experience. Did you like draw the short straw, or how'd you guys figure out who was going to drive? Was
I
it?
offered.
it
No. So I'm a. Mrs. Marley will probably say I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to driving.
nah,
I'm not.
I'm the driver as well.
I'm not comfortable with other people driving, so it's like I'm driving. That's it.
Nice.
I'm
I didn't know
driving.
if y'all had like a race off, or if you guys like ran a quali lap to see who could.
I was gonna insure the guys on the car, and so that I was gonna be able to let them drive and everything. And in the end, I just didn't. I'm driving. I drove there and I drove back, and we had the best time ever. It was really good. Plus, once we got to Dortmund and that, the car was parked up, and we didn't touch the car all weekend.
Well,
So
shout out to Mrs. Marley. I know you mentioned her a couple of times. You guys said that you married 16 years, man. I was out here with Eric, out here with and Hoggy, Greasy, everybody. So many fathers, so many family men, so many good people that I've met. One of the things that I'm really attracted to in channels and just people that I genuinely spend my time with. I like to watch channels to learn. I like to watch channels to learn racecraft. But there's times where I'm chilling. You know, I'm doing dishes or I'm cleaning up the house or I'm hanging out with the baby and I'm kind of going around. And I like to have, men in the background that are family friendly, who kind of have that appreciation for, hey, we can be men, right? But there's a certain level of just maturity that you got to have, and with your communities and it seems that people who have, those relationships and the families and stuff, we all kind of like appreciate and kind of understand the rules and norms when we jump on each other's channels. So I want to say that you have been an awesome listen in my house. We listen to Marley quite a bit. I've also seen some times when you've gotten a little bit frustrated. we had some good clips with you.
Yeah. I've been known to get very frustrated and very vocal, and I don't think about what I'm saying quite often, and I've had a few people pull me up on it. Mrs. Marley pulls me up on it all the time. And a few people have pulled me up on it. I'm just going to say something as well. Our limitation on how long this can last has just disappeared. There's been a problem with the race tonight.
Oh no!
We are no longer racing.
So that means we got. Is that from? I know I was seeing some clips. I think OG came in and said that Hoggy was dealing with some frame rate drop or something like that. What happened?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I've just got the message from him saying that we are out of the race.
So, man. Well, maybe we'll see Hoggy in here. Maybe we'll see Hog jump in.
He probably won't. He's probably very angry.
He's probably very frustrated. The Muppet is mad. The Muppet is mad. That's the race game, though, right? So let's go back. Let's talk about. Let's go back and talk about how before we get too deep into the racing, let's go back and talk. I think I had the exact same play seat. I didn't have the, I don't know if that's black leather. It looks almost like a jean material, but it looks really cool. I had that same play seat rig. Did you have the same problems with it? I don't know if yours has the neck welds on it, but I can see that you got a DD on there. How was it? You got blocks set up, you got all kinds of, what was kind of the process of when you realized sitting in that seat that you needed to go to the frame seat?
I'd say it kind of started. So I started out with a G29 on the PlayStation Challenge, and that was awesome. And Mrs. Marley loved it because I could game, I could race, and then I could fold it up and I could put it under the stairs, and she had her front room. She, that was pretty cool.
The ladies
And
don't
then,
like The Sims as much as we
and then,
do.
yeah, it's boys, old boys and their toys.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we went, then yeah, Rory went to Fanatec and he got the DD Pro with the wheel and all that kind of stuff, and it looked awesome. And I was like, okay, I need that. So I went out and brought the DD Pro, and I bolted the DD Pro to the Playseat Challenge, used it, and the torque of the DD Pro was like throwing the chair around.
Yep.
Like, oh, what's going on? It was nearly as bad as Hoggy's old setup. Do you know what I mean? Like that. Anyway, so then I started looking around, and I was like, right. So I then invested in a next level chair, the one that bends and moves and everything. And this is no diss to anybody that has got it. I just didn't like it. It felt like sitting on a really, really taut deck chair, and it wasn't for me. It didn't help my back. I couldn't get comfortable on it, and I probably had it for a month, and then I sold that to a mate of mine, and then I went and brought the Playseat Evo, and set up with that and everything, and we were kind of like doing that, and it was a bit wobbly on the DD Pro for the steering and everything, but the biggest problem with Evo was the pedals, the load cell. Every time you braked, the pedal plate would flex,
Right.
and oh man, it did my head in. So those blocks of wood and that you saw, I started off by cutting blocks of wood and sticking them in there, and then I'm quite fortunate. My uncle and my family live around me, and my uncle's a bit of a engineer whiz type thing. He's built model steam engines and stuff like that. So I went round to his shed and I said, right, I need to put this adjustable foot into the bottom of this bit of aluminium, and this bit needs to be cut with a threaded hole at an angle in there. And I spent a few hours with him, and we made these like aluminium legs to go underneath the play seat, the Evo seat. So it was like not flexing as much. It still flexed a tiny bit, but it was nowhere near what it was. So we just changed it up, and I built that. And then my Mrs. Marley would probably call it. I just decided that I needed a GT Omega C. I just wanted it. So I went out.
Let's look at this monster.
I just went out and brought it, and I stuck it in the front room in front of the TV.
I bet she wasn't happy about that.
Do you know what? Mrs. Marley is so tolerant of everything I've done to do with sim racing. We have our moments and we have our words, and I have to listen when I'm told. And I know when to listen. Sometimes I don't listen, but she has been so tolerant with me and the amount of time and the amount of money that I've pumped into this.
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's look at this. Let's look at this build now. So people have got teasers. I don't know if this started off as your workshop, but it
was my shed. So there was a point where the sim chair and the sim stuff have been in the front room since the start of COVID, and then it was more of a case of we've got nowhere to entertain. Mrs. Marley had enough of it, and we were like, okay, so where can I move it to? Because it's quite big. And then we had to go through okay, so can we put it there? No, it doesn't work. Can we put it up there? No, it won't work. Can I put it there? And then we came to the decision that, well, we're quite fortunate. We have a big shed in the garden, like an outbuilding, that I racked out, and then I moved all my tools and all my kit into that, and then we did the room build. Yeah, that's how it all came together, really.
It's beautiful, man. I'm so jealous of this beautiful room that you have. And it amazes me like what people go through for this game and for the immersive experience. I know you got a lot of help with it. How did you decide on the paint scheme? What's the story behind the yellow, green, and blue?
So I'm a massive Ayrton Senna fan. I was as a little boy. I've remained an Ayrton Senna fan. I'm a massive McLaren fan. The colour scheme was picked up because of his Brazilian stuff. I really liked his crash helmets, and then the artwork, the paintwork, and everything is all Mrs. Marley. The whole lot is Mrs. Marley. She did all of the painting. My son's helped me with the build, the stud walling, the flooring, the ceiling, plasterboarding, the electrics, all that kind of stuff. We did it all ourselves. Tanked the walls to stop the water getting in because we get a bit of water dampness around here. Did everything ourselves, and then Mrs. Marley put her touches to it, and then I moved in here. I've got a hardwired internet cable that runs from the router in the front room all the way through the kitchen underneath the cabinets all out here, and this is where I do my endurance racing and do my sim racing on a Tuesday and Thursday night. So that's it, really.
Bravo, sir. Let's talk. You were telling me that you're a big McLaren fan. We were talking about that earlier. How did you come on McLaren? I don't hear. I guess from being from America, everybody either picks Mopar, Chevy, or Ford. But as I talk to the UK guys, and I get overseas and I kind of get around, you hear Ferrari, McLaren, Lambo. Why is it McLaren for you? And what about it? Let us know.
So, when I was younger, my dad got me into watching Formula One, and I've watched Formula One ever since I can remember. I remember Ayrton Senna starting racing at Williams and doing really well, and used to love watching him there. And Williams being a British team as well, still support them today, but they're not my favourite team. When Senna moved to McLaren and started racing there and doing so well and everything, that's what got me. Those cars were amazing. He was amazing. His skill and all that kind of stuff was amazing. And we definitely lost a legend way too early. Back in '94, was it? The same weekend that we lost another quality racing driver that nobody mentions in Roland Ratzenberger. That guy was quality as well, and he's kind of been forgotten because he died the day before Senna at the same racetrack.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's kind of crazy that we remember Senna, but Ratzenberg just gets kind of forgotten. It's really sad as well. So as
I get familiar with the sport, I learn there's been a lot of changes, like the crown and things that they've added that has really changed the game a lot. And I'm going back and I watch like Lion's Heart and I watch, just different racers. I mean, these guys are heroes to you guys. And one of the guys that I love listening to is Jester he's one of the Australian guys, and he just so much race knowledge. And for me, it's always been sports, it's been football, wrestling, basketball. I mean, the United States is really about the organized sports, but racing outside of the United States is it's heritage level, it's pedigree level. You guys look at racers the way that we look at, our LeBron Jameses, our Michael Jordans, things like that. So
Yeah,
I can't
absolutely. Yeah,
believe
yeah.
how dangerous the sport used to be. I mean, do you think the sport's become better or worse, or how do you feel about all the changes and stuff?
They obviously motor racing had to get safer because people were dying. There were some big crashes. So, I mean, look at Nicky Lauda
Oh gosh, yeah.
at the Nürburg at the Nordschleife. Um, there's been so many accidents, and when you have accidents, you have to make it safer. Making it safer meant that, I mean, if you look at Josh uh, Verstappen's dad in the Benetton, the refueling rig and the fire that happened there. That's why we don't have refueling anymore in F1.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
It was too. Oh yeah, yeah, go look at it on YouTube. It is amazing what happened. Like, and
Wow.
he gets up and walked. Like, he got out of the car and walked away from it with minimal
Mm.
injury. But it's worth looking at YouTube and having a look at the Verstappen. What's his name? Josh Verstappen, Boss Verstappen. I can't remember. And I'm useless at names.
Max's story is crazy.
Yeah,
Watching
Max.
this kid
Yeah,
from like 17 and like going back and watching videos, like absolutely insane.
but he is a quick driver, and you can't ignore that.
Aggressive, very aggressive.
I don't. Yeah, yeah. That's, it's just the way he races. People that can like it, don't like it. You can't take away from him what he done. I mean, I will go out there and say he definitely had one championship handed to him, and I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah,
Um,
let's start
yeah,
some drama, huh?
yeah, yeah.
Let's get some race drama.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I firmly believe that it was handed to him on a platter, but it is what it is. It's racing. Do you know what I mean? It's racing. We get over it and we move on, and so many things are going to change now. I mean, we've got same cars next year. There's a few drivers moving around and everything, but then you've got the big rule changes coming in 26, so that's going to be interesting. Obviously, Adrian Newey has gone to Aston Martin now, so that's going to be really interesting to see how much Stroll's dad is going to throw at Formula One to make his son a world champion, because that boy can't drive. Um, he as much as anybody says it, the only reason he's in F1 is because of his dad's money. And somebody else should be in. Somebody else should be in that.
Is racing like that? Is racing like a big kind of pedigree thing? Because I'm learning a lot. I can't pretend to say, for me, racing's been John Force and Dale Earnhardt. And I can go through NHRA. I can go through a little bit of NASCAR from back in the day when Dale died. For me, it was. I mean, I kind of watched his son for a little bit. Jeff Gordon got old on me, and so like my race heroes from back in the day are getting real old. John Force, shout out, he just had another big wreck and almost took himself out. So what would you say is the most memorable wreck for you? RL250 brought up, I believe, in 1995. I want to say this right. Is it Mika Hakkinen had a big crash in 95, or is that Micah Hakkinen? I don't know if that's one, but that one was mentioned in chat, and I think every time I talk to somebody, there's a memorable crash for racing, and it kind of like it's for us. I mean, sports, we have people like when Kobe passed, when we have some of our legends that pass. It's the day that the whole country kind of loses its breath a little bit. And I know that F1, I read a stat one time that there was, out of 24 or so drivers, like someone died, their mortality rate was getting up to like at least one a year.
Yeah, I don't know the facts that well. Unfortunately, the 90s with me were party time. So I killed off a lot of brain cells. So facts.
We're conserving those now.
Yeah. So like facts and remembering stuff. Like I remember the Senna crash. I remember the Ratzenberg crash. I remember the Verstappen refueling incident, I remember, was it Mark Webber? Car like spun in the air and landed back down and carried on and just like crashed into a hairpin at a race. That was epic. Um, there's been loads of Formula One crashes, but like there's so much that's happened, and I've got a really bad memory of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's I just I love motor racing. I love if it's got wheels and an engine and it goes fast and it's entertaining. I love it. So truck racing,
Yeah.
motorbikes, like you could stick uh, a destruction derby mini like banger racing race on, and if it was interesting, I would sit and watch it to see what happens.
What's your favorite kind of racing to watch? Is it F1 or do you like,
It's F1 has always been my favourite.
I like to watch a little dirt track racing. I like to watch the slides a little bit. The drifting's cool.
Rally's
Rally's fun.
But then, like, if we go on to two wheels, which is also a passion of mine.
Oh yeah. Don't get us started on bikes. Don't get us started on bikes.
Yeah. Well, I've had a GSXR 750, so
We were talking about the 750 is a monster, man. You got that 600 weight with all that extra power. Have you rode a lot? Is is two wheels a big deal for you? Because it is for me, man.
Yeah, I've had to. I haven't got a bike now. I want another bike. It's a contentious issue at the moment. I really want another bike, but
the boss said you got your rig, no bike, huh?
No, it's not that. It's in all honesty, like we have some of the best roads around here in the southeast of England. We have some wicked roads, and then if you go into Wales and sort of up into the Peak District in the middle England, and that we have some awesome roads. But on a motorbike, they take a long time to get to, so you end up riding around your local roads. You get to know them. You know where the white lines are. You know where the drain covers are. And you start treating them. You start treating the roads like racetracks, and that's basically what I was doing.
It gets scary,
and I was getting too fast. I've done a couple of track days around Brands Hatch. Love that track on a motorbike.
Wow, you've done Brands Hatch on a bike?
Yep.
Oh, I'm jealous. I love Brands Hatch. It's like one of my favorite tracks now. But I've been on like the Tucson Raceway and the Phoenix Raceway. I've had about 15 bikes myself, and I have a really bad accident 2013. I hit really hard, degloved my right knee, detached my PCL, 28 days in ICU. So I hear you, man. We start getting too fast. Around Arizona, it's all about the train tracks. I mean, we got trains that run through crisscross cities and everywhere you go, and then we got all the trolleys in all the cities. So I've seen guys, spiral fracture their legs on 25-mile-an-hour crashes that change their life. So biking is tough, man. So for jumping in the rig, that's why I think the immersion is so important, and trying to get that adrenaline rush, trying to get that heart rate up, because when we're on those bikes, we're in those cars and we're speed demons in real life, it's going to lead to a bad day. I mean, how many wrecks and resets do you get to do while you're before you even get to be fast? And you don't get that in real life. You don't get that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can't say I don't disagree not riding.
I think nowadays riding motorbikes in the UK, I would say 8 times out of 10, any incident, whether it's an incident, accident, or fatal, probably some of it will be down to the speed of the motorbike, but the rest of it will predominantly be car driver didn't see the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big thing. That's the big thing.
Defensive driving.
So many cars on our roads these days, and bikes are fast. They're like, you open the throttle,
so fast.
Second gear, throttle wide open on a big bike, you're pulling 80 mile an hour in a couple of seconds.
Oh, and I'm on a ZX14. Top of my second gear, I'm already pushing $120. I mean, it's no joke, man. And even after my wreck, my bikes just got bigger. But I'm more into like the touring, man. I've slowed down quite a bit. I don't only do the mountain once in a while. I got my little shoulder injury. I know you know something a little bit about injuries. I know that you're dealing with some vertebrae issues in your back. I saw some X-rays and stuff in your neck. What's going on with that, man? Are you in pain now, or is that something that you kind of deal with on stream or off stream? How does that work?
No, so it's really weird. So I ended up having to take some time out of work because I was getting like this left arm numbness, and there was a lot of stuff going on at work at the time. I was pretty stressed, and we kind of put it all down to stress. And I ended up going, okay, I need some time away from work. So I think I was off work for like a week or two, and it sort of disappeared. It dissipated. And then I was due to go back to work, and it started up again. And then Mrs. Marley was like, "No, we need to get you away from stress." So she booked us a weekend thing, and we went out, did some bike riding, and just chilled, and it didn't hurt at all. And then like when I was due to go back to work, it started playing up again. So I was like, okay, so I found out that my dad had like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. I know I've got type 2 diabetes, and I don't know about my heart, so I started going to the doctors and asking them for help, and they were pretty busy. And fortunately I've got healthcare through work, so I ended up going in private, and they checked me out, and we did the MRI, and then it came back with these scans from the MRI, and like it shows like I think it's like C5 and C6 are like slightly misshapen and slightly out of place.
Ooh.
So they're pushing. What's happening is they're pushing on my spinal column, on the part that carries all the nerves.
Right.
And occasionally they start pressing too much. So you'll see, like, if you guys know me and have watched me race and do my sim racing and everything, you'll see me like I'll be in my rig like this, and I'll be driving and everything, and I'll sort of move forward, and it's that's me taking pressure off of my shoulders because I need to relax that part of my neck. So it's not because I'm completely nuts and weird and I've got some sort of like tick or
Like a
issue or
twist or
anything.
tick or something. Thanks for clarifying that. In case anybody out there thinks that Marley is, sitting here tweaking, he's adjusted his back.
I'm sort of trying to take some pressure off my back because like I sometimes get into the thing of driving with my shoulders, and you have to drive with your arms. So
I know I'm a shoulder driver.
When you drive with your shoulders, you put a lot of tension through there. So like relaxing your arms, getting them at the right angles, getting your kit set up so it's at the right angles for you as an individual, because everybody is different. We all need something different, different positions, different places,
Right.
different stuff. We're all using different kit, so nothing is set nothing is set in stone for this sim racing stuff. It's all about how you sit, how you feel, how you respond to the kit that you've got. And
see, and that's interesting though. Not to cut you off, but that topic in itself, there's like a dozen YouTube videos online telling you how you should sit, where your wrist position should be, where your back position should be. I think everybody who has if someone who has a shoulder injury like myself, I need to talk about my sitting position because it's way different than a lot of people. I got lumbar support. I got a pad. I got a pelvic supporter that kind of stabilizes my hips because sitting for a long time. So I got one of those. It's like an office chair thing. My pedals, I've had to adjust like 4 or 5 times because I'll get different cramps in myself. That's it. That's me too. Let me show you. I got a good one too, man. You gotta have it, and it saves the seat, man. It saves the seat.
Saves the seat. That was Rory put me onto that.
Yeah, invest in a butt cushion, man.
Best like £20 or $25.
Yeah, mine was about $25 too, man. Best. And what's funny is Misa won't use it, so I don't know if it's just for the guys because we got bony butts. But like Misa will sit in my chair, and she's like, "I don't need all this. This is uncomfortable." I was like, "No, I need it."
I am not going there. We'll just leave that there.
Yeah. I'm not. I tell you what,
Yeah,
I'm more muscular than anything, and
yeah,
it's a lot of
yeah,
bone back there sitting on muscle. It's
yeah,
not comfortable. So definitely get yourself a lump support, guys. Get yourself a butt supporter because it's gonna help out, especially with the long term endurance racing. You were saying, is endurance racing kind of your thing? I know on ACC it's hard. Let's talk a little. Let's talk the transition from GT to ACC because you're full time ACC now. I don't ever see you on GT anymore. So when you told me that you started out on
uh,
GT, it was kind of
yeah,
fascinating because I do like the fun factor of GT. It's a very clean game. It's very easy to jump into. It's very easy to kind of meet some friends and build a
mm,
community.
yeah,
I've been trying to dabble into ACC. The early birds, again, shout out to Yako, the early birds, you guys, Erratic, Grim Legion is in there, Ruthless. All you guys have kind of come together to create this really special group and for you guys, it's not late at night; it's early in the morning. For me, I got to stay up till
mm,
midnight to hang out with you guys. I think the time that I was actually able to race with the early birds, I was just falling asleep. So I'm gonna try to plan a time that I can hang out with the early birds a little bit better. Shout out to Ruthless who got me hooked up on ACC PC. Tell me a little bit about why ACC is the game for you now. A little bit how you transition from GT, and then of course you got to talk about the early birds, man. Shout out to your crew.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean,
And
just
Yako's
remember,
here, perfect timing.
Jacko. No, I just want to say hello to everyone in chat. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you all, but I'm just trying to concentrate on what me and Viking are chatting about. So, hello to everyone in chat. Right. So, remember, I'm a bit older. I'm 49 in a couple of weeks' time. I started my gaming when PlayStation 1 came out. When the first Gran Turismo came out, we used to play that. We used to go like I back then. I was uh, what's the- I was a bit of an idiot back then. I used to get into a lot of stuff and put a lot of stuff in my body that shouldn't be put into your body. So I got
It
heavily
is
into
in the
that side of it.
past.
And sorry.
It is in the past.
Yeah. So we used to do a lot of gaming and like I played Gran Turismo's, did a lot of stuff, and yeah, I see. So I'm just trying to remember when I first started getting serious about like trying to sim race or simcade when I think it was like an old friend of my brother's. This guy was called Steve, and we had I think it was like Forza One on an Xbox, and I went round his house and I was racing, and like there was like I crashed into a couple of people, and he got really cross with me because I was on his account, and like you don't do that when you're racing.
Don't
Um,
crash.
yeah, you don't crash into people to overtake them. I'm like, well, that's how you racing destruction derby, man. Anyway, so
This is where the Marley
Steve,
Diesel quote started to get
yeah,
ingrained.
yeah. So like so that's where I sort of started learning about how you race seriously. But then I went on a bit of like a hiatus from gaming. I went down a very dark rabbit hole until I was like 27. Um, and then I sort of got myself out of it and sort of rebuilt my life. And then met Sarah, married, and then yeah, got back into sim racing and everything. So the GT7, GT Sport was where I really started playing again. And then obviously GT7 came out, and then um, yeah, I used to get really cross and really mouthy with people that crashed into me, and I used to call them out quite a lot.
Did they
And
have live chat back then? Was that like where you had to pause
no,
and you
it's
had to
just
send a direct message and it was
yeah. That
controller
was all.
wars?
Yeah, that was all typing messages to people going, "Oi." Yeah. So it was not a good version of Marley. Let's put it that way. So yeah. So then I basically what happened was um, Freddie left GT7 because of he wanted to do ACC, the team racing stuff and all that kind of stuff. So he sort of migrated to ACC prior to me. Obviously, I met Ryan Haddock through the Rory's channel, through the mods and everything, and he did a lot of ACC. and me and him got chatting and everything, and then I ended up like I've had enough of being punted and pushed to pass on GT7, and these people don't know how to drive and all this kind of stuff, and I ended up going and buying this gaming laptop that I thought was like the bomb, and the only thing that it was good at was overheating. Like you could race with it, but you couldn't race and stream. It would just melt. It just like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had this like laptop fan that used to run. It used to spin up to like 2,900
Yeah, I
RPM.
tried to start on a laptop too, man. It's
Oh man, it was bad.
Sam
It
Squatch
was
actually, man.
bad.
I've got to figure out what laptop he
Yeah.
got because he runs his and his stream looks pretty good most of the dang time.
Yeah, well, if you can call it and it works, then good luck to you. But
Yeah, it's hard
it
though.
was cause,
Definitely
it
get a
was
PC.
causing it was causing problems. So then I had to ask Mrs. Marley if I could get the PC that's next to me right now, and that went down as it did. Hey,
You
look,
said
there's
that's
another
a
Gibbo.
you said that's a
Sorry.
you got a
Yeah,
PC specialist, nothing
yeah,
crazy. You said you got a little bit of graphic card though, a couple of
yeah.
things that what would you say is kind of the minimum that you need to run ACC comfortably?
Oh man, I'm not a computer geek. I've got no idea.
Me neither. Me neither. I
I
try to
am,
listen,
I am not, I'm not
but that's
skilled or clever enough to be able to comment on that.
well, let's shout out
I
to the early birds again then, because between
Yeah,
everybody on the early birds, I know Grim has sent out Grim hooked up Yako with the graphics card, I
yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Ruthless helped me get even set up. All the tunes and stuff that you guys acquire, everything that gets
Mm.
put up on early birds. Together, that whole crew, like I think you'll be safe if you want to play ACC, if you're wanting to get in with a good group. Check out the early birds. You guys run servers, a bunch of good group guys coming together.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I first started on to ACC and streaming and everything, I went into the Sim Cafe community and I got some help from Jeff there. He told me about OBS. I oh man, like Eric B, the realist. I mean,
Shout out to Eric B.
that
Yeah.
guy is a legend. Like he helped me so much in building my stream to get it to the
Me
quality
too.
that it is at now. Like, and he's not like he doesn't. He's like, oh, just do this, and it's like, okay, I'm trusting you, and it works perfectly. And like that guy in his Discord has got every single link that you could possibly need to build a decent stream using a PC. And he, if you message him and ask him for help, bang on the phone. He'll just help you. He's
Yeah.
like, but it's not just him. There are so many people that are doing really good stuff for people across this community. Like I can't even start to name them. Like look at Sparks Theory, the help that he does for people behind the scenes with their streams,
Shout
the
out to
advice that
Sparks, second to none with the
the
graphics, man. That guy is a
the
genius when it comes to that
yeah,
stuff.
he is talented. He is talented, but he is so down to earth and such an awesome guy. I mean, he's absolutely nuts on his stream, but yeah, he is awesome.
It's fun.
Um,
It's a fun
yeah, yeah.
stream.
But even Rory will say like he's not the most techie person, but like he's helped me. He's helped loads. He's given me loads of pointers. He's said use this software to do this and
Mhm.
that, and it's really like the nuggets of information that have come from so many different people are what has made me do what I'm doing now. And that's what I love. I like the community stuff.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
you think about
It's
it,
different.
you look at hey, I take it. Um, the the community, yeah. So the amount of support and everything that happens in our community, this sim racing, this corner of the internet, yeah, where like the internet is like known to be quite toxic, like Call of Duty, really
Hmm.
toxic,
Oh
really
yeah, I
toxic.
come from Madden, so
Yeah,
oh
a lot of computer games are so toxic, but this sim racing community. Wow. I
Yeah,
mean,
it can
I,
be. It
I
can get a bit touchy, but again, I think it's the investment, man. I mean, when you meet everybody, it's not a there's shout out to Smurple, but it's not a real young people's community in a sense because it's expensive, man. These wheels are expensive, the rigs are
yeah,
expensive, the setups, everything. So you can't just you can because shout out to Shaggy and some of those guys that are on pads and that are extremely competitive,
yeah, yeah.
but the
But
community, there's so much relation in everything that we've invested and kind of how much we've put into this.
yeah. But like, obviously, I've put a lot into what I've got. I haven't done it overnight. I've had help from people to get where I am today. And I'll never forget any of them. And I've built some really solid friendships through this stuff, and it's been really, really brilliant. Like, I, I'm going to do a big shout out now, and he's going to hate me for this, but Ryan Haddock, that guy has spent so many hours in a sim lobby with me, teaching me braking points, teaching me car turning, rotation, how to set a car up, racing lines, all that kind of stuff. Like his dedication to our sport and the stuff that he does behind the scenes is second to none. And I'm indebted to that guy. That's for certain. And there's a few others as well, but I just want to shout Ryan out because he's done so much for me.
Big shout out to Ryan, man. Hopefully Ryan jumps in, man. Big shout out to you, sir. Thank you for helping our boy here. I've had a lot of people help me too. Eric B obviously has been a huge help. I know I bounce a lot off of Squatch, Papa's House of Game. I mean, Papa's helped me from the beginning,
Hmm.
and even other guys, Dre Slay, Pack, different guys that helped me kind of get accustomed to YouTube community, YouTube in itself, kind of how you got to act, how you got to behave. I know a lot of us are always kind of watching our numbers, and the whole journey to monetization is a stress in itself because it feels like it's such a long internship, and then you
Yeah.
finally get to click that button and everything kind of starts moving, and you have a whole different kind of motivation factor going because everybody wants to get to that Rory level, get to that Jardier level, the super levels, but it takes a lot of time and consistency. When you decided that YouTube was going to be more than just the game for you and you're going to pursue the monetization thing, how did that kind of get triggered? What started this motivation 18 months ago to even start this? I know you've been monetized for about 4 months now. We've been really
Yeah.
close. Just kind of, I watch you a lot because we're kind of at the same place, and it's awesome just to see the growth. I know everybody has their own struggles. Why'd you even jump in this, and kind of what are some of the things that you're enduring through the process of monetizing?
Yeah, like I started doing upload of videos, just videos with no camera and everything, and then like I started streaming my races, but with no camera, and like um, there was kind of like this competition between me and amateur Freddie. Like he got to 50 subs, I was at 20. He got to 60, I got to 30. He got to 70, I got to 50. And it was like this little competition between the two of us, and like, and then Rory sort of got involved in it and was like, "Well, you need a camera, and you need to do this, and I want to see how many subscribers. You need to go and figure out how to do this." And he like sort of like drip fed us these ideas for our channels and everything, and like it was like a competition, and then like Island Grown got involved in it, and like me and him were battling each other for like subs and all this kind of stuff. It was quite fun, and it's all been about fun and hanging out. My whole channel started because when we were in Rory's channel at the weekends, Rory never streamed and nobody had anywhere to hang out, so I just used to start streaming on a Saturday morning and do like lobby races, like the Ford Raptor, the F-150s. We used to pump them right up. We used to put the damage right up. We used to put maximum penalties on, and then we used to do like 3 lap races. And used to have to. The idea was that you crashed into each other to give people as many penalties, as many time penalties as possible. and then you'd all get to the time penalty line, and you'd all sort of like fly up through it and slow down, and like some people have like 4 minutes, and then you go on to the next lap and you do the same again, and it was just we used to have so much fun doing that. We used to have full lobbies doing that. It was so much fun. And
It's like
that
Hoggy's
was like
Wacky Games, man. Hoggy's Wacky Games is getting fun.
yeah, exactly. So like we used to do stuff like that, and then obviously I I left GT7 for ACC, and there's some guys in the community now that are still doing stuff. Hoggy's started doing his wacky races. You've got Neon Sphere down in Australia. He's doing
Hmm.
his NSR series. That all bore off of what we were doing back in the day. Um, and it's been great to see that those guys are all carrying it all on and everything. And like we've got Jack Hammer in chat. Jack Hammer was one of the very first guys that subbed to my
Shout out,
channel,
Jack.
and he's been brilliant. You got DMC there. You got your other half missus in here. My daughter, my youngest daughter, Cloudy's in there. So like, there's all these people like Jacko. He's here. Like, there's so many people that have been supportive of me and that were part of our lobbies and that are part of Rory's stream, a part of Jardier's stream, a part of now your stream, Freddie's, Hoggy's, like DMC's, Jacko's, all this kind of stuff. Like, we all come back round together and we're all hanging out together. And like, I kind of got sick recently. Like, people keep on going, "Oh, you've only got 600 subs. Why is your channel taking so long to build it?" Well, I work full time.
Right.
Like, my job is stressful. I do this for relaxation and fun. Yeah. Um, and I do get annoyed when I get into it, I get racing, and then someone crashes into me because they just don't know how to drive. That winds me up. It really upsets me. And I shouldn't let it do it, but it does. And it just makes it so much harder. So this whole like racing, like, I love racing. I love doing what I'm doing now. I love having the community around us and everything, and I love the fact that I've got monetization and people are supporting me the way they're supporting me. Man, I can't tell you, like, the monetization stuff. Like, I had to do some stuff financially to get this stuff all started. So like,
Right.
the guys supporting through the monetizing, the memberships and the donations and all that kind of stuff, they've paid off the laptop that I was paying off. That's been paid off.
Dang.
Yeah,
Shot big baller shot caller. I see you.
that
It's
that that's been paid off. So um yeah, so it's, and look at the stuff that we've done through the community.
right.
I've I've donated to people. I've donated
Hmm.
money. I love helping people. I love, like, the whole idea of RMD racing that me and Ryan have started is we love helping people. We want people to learn. We want them to get better, and we want them to enjoy racing. That is what RMD racing is all about.
So is that the RMD racing? It's this honestly the first time I've heard about it. I'm sorry if it's
Yeah.
been out and I haven't. It
No,
must
no,
be fairly new.
Yeah, it's just me and Ryan. We race. We've got Jack Palmer as part of the team, and we've also got Jackie as part of the team. But with the racings being on Sundays and everything, it clashes with both of their works and their private family time stuff. So it's normally just me and Ryan, and then Hoggy comes in and helps when he can. I know we've had our issue tonight. It is what it is. I'm not
It's
racing now,
racing.
so yeah, it's racing. It's sim racing. Things go wrong. Things don't work out. And like, few 6 months ago, I'd have been Ross. But it is what it is. Like, so like, I've had to curb my language as well. Like, I used to F and Jeff quite a lot. Um, and that turns people off. That makes
Yeah.
people not
Yeah.
want that. People don't
Not
want to watch.
there's
Not
a
don't.
there's an etiquette for sure.
Yeah. And there's like, although my channel, I make sure my channel is labeled as not for children.
Mhm.
Children still watch it. Children still come into rooms and
Merple.
stuff like that. And I have to remember that. And like, because of who I used to be, like, swearing I do it without thinking sometimes. I
Yeah.
do it without even knowing I'm doing it.
People think I don't have
So
that issue. I do. I do.
yeah, I like I just I
For me,
don't
it's
like it,
for me, it's
but
trying to be it's trying to be aware that my family's watching, young
yeah,
people can get in. It's
yeah,
video games at the end of the day, right? And as mature as we try to make it, and
yeah,
as grown as we are, we're being big kids, and we're kind of hanging out in a big kid environment. So we do have to kind of put that taper on there. I know and I've been in some streams where some guys will go on a rant, and you'll see those numbers quickly disappear. Um,
hmm
and again, that YouTube etiquette is something serious. What would you say is probably the most important thing to remember when you're streaming and having a community? Is it just the language? I know some people don't touch on politics or religion, and we're both spiritual
yeah,
men. We were both
yeah,
saved. You were telling me you got
yep,
saved in 2007 in the Indian Ocean,
yep.
or was it? Yeah, the Indian Ocean. That's
Yeah, I was so
insanely amazing. I can imagine how
yeah,
beautiful that was.
yeah, I I was 27, 28 years old when I got off of drugs. I got a full-time job. I ended up going to Thailand to celebrate it, but I was involved with the church at the time. I wasn't. I went to church. This is going to sound quite weird, but as somebody that has done a lot of stuff wrong in their lives, hurt people, hurt their family, um, and having the addictive personality that I've got, I needed a set of rules to live my life by, and church was where I found that.
Amen.
Um, I went to church for a long time, was not, but it was because I wanted to find out about it. And then the guys ended up going to Thailand to do a mission trip. I said I wanted to go with them, and I ended up being baptized in the Indian Ocean during an outreach program thing that happened. Um, and and then yeah, 2008, Mrs. Marley comes along. 2009, we're married, and it's 2024 now.
Man,
So there's loads of stuff that's happened. I've rebuilt my life. I've gone from being a spanner monkey, building things, making things, to being a manager in a business that turns over a fair amount of money every year.
that's a
It's
it's a big deal what you do now. I mean, that journey, man, that's an amazing journey to hear. I hear about you talk about your life in two halves, and I want
yeah,
to go back for a little bit because I give you a lot of credit for behind the wheel. I've told you this offline. I've told a lot of other people this. A few months ago, me and you
yeah,
we were talking, and we were talking about a certain individual. We won't bring that up, but just our efforts to trying to be a good person to that person, and the laws that we try to live by. And again, everybody has their faith and everybody has what they do, and I respect and support that 100%. And all I really expect from people is hopefully what you're doing in life leads you to be a good person to other people. And we started talking about that, and we shared our testimonies, and we kind of shared, being saved, and what our faith means to us. And that's what really that's what started the whole, man, I really like to talk to these people kind of thing. I really want to kind of dig in. And then, we launched Behind the Wheel. And I remember telling you the first week, like, hey, Marley, I want you on here. I want this to be, I want to give you your due credit. And you kind of motivated me to, hey, everybody has a story out here. And the more I started to learn, like, you have grown men and grown women. Shout out to Susie, shout out to Titanium, to Wrench, all the Iron Maidens out there. Misa's getting into racing. But every adult has a story, man, and I was fascinated by your story. One of the things I'm really impressed with is you keep bringing up your occupation, and I've kind of showed snippets of the crane and stuff. You're not a crane operator per se, but you manage quite a bit more in that industry. So let's check out. And when we talking cranes, we're talking big cranes. We're talking serious machinery here. What do you do, man? And how the heck did you get into this position?
Uh, it all came about because obviously I came out of what was like an NHS rehab program, and I needed a job, and a friend of mine gave me some work, a few days, and the company that I would work for liked the way I work, so they asked me back, and then they gave me like a full-time job. And I've now been with that company 18 years. And I've gone from right down the bottom to being a manager at that company. Like I've done I've done some big jobs. Like um, the guys in the UK that are watching your stream now will know Heathrow Airport. Okay, it's the biggest airport in the UK. Um, it has gone through a lot of transformation over the last 15 odd years. And there's like a terminal there called T5. It's British Airways terminal, and they've got T5A, B, and C, and they're all big buildings, but they've all got these things, bridges, glass bridges that come off of them, and then you've got the things that you walk down to get to an aeroplane. They're called jet bridges. And I've been responsible for installing those and many other things across the UK, like from up in Scotland all the way down to Brighton, and from the east coast to the west coast and all the way down to Cornwall as well. I've done a lot of work, and it's been really, really interesting, and I've met a lot of wonderful people. I've met some dodgy people, and I've rebuilt my life around that job, and it's what makes me who I am today. Like my past makes me who I am today. My faith makes me who I am today. I try and be the best I can. I say in my own bio, it says like I'm a faith-filled Christian, but I'm no Bible basher.
Yeah.
I'm not an evangelical.
Right.
I rarely will talk about my faith,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't like talking about it. They
Mhm.
don't want to know. And you all need to be saved, just so you know. Um, yeah. So anyway,
It
I'm
doesn't.
just
It
going to throw
doesn't
that.
hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
would say,
anyway,
man, I
yeah,
want it out there so people understand the laws that I live by. So when you engage
yeah,
with me, right, you can have a certain expectation, and if you're familiar with my faith, then you understand how I'm going to treat you, how I'm not going to harbor hate, how I'm going to forgive, how I'm going to move on, and I hope you come back to the channel and we could be friends later. You know what I mean? So it's really just laws for me, and when I meet others who carry that proudly, you know, Misa is a she works in Christian missionary work, so shout out to Misa. It's something that we live our lives by, and again, we're not here to, you know, bring people over to our side or anything like that, but just understand, hey, we're
yeah,
trying to be good men here, and if we make
yeah.
mistakes, forgive us
I
for our
failed.
mistakes.
Man, I've
I've made more
failed.
mistakes than anybody, man.
Yeah, I should be I should be like Albert Einstein, the amount of mistakes I made. But like I don't talk about my faith often enough. I get involved in the wrong conversation sometimes. I just, yeah, I should I should be I should be more open about it. But there are people that don't want it in or part of their
Yeah,
channels, and I respect that. I
yeah,
do
and
respect
it's a
it.
worldwide
And
venture, you know,
yeah,
and you
and
just
yeah, and I even put in my thing like we all come from different backgrounds, different parts of the world, different um, faith points, different life points, different everything. Yeah. Um,
agreed.
so keeping that out of our channels means that our channels bubble up and people interact with each other and they have fun and it's a safe place to come, and that's what we are promoting.
Yeah,
And part of that is because we want a safe place for people to hang out, and that comes from loving on people.
yeah,
Do you know
agreed.
what I mean? So that's where it's kind of that's what I love about this whole thing. It's like
There's
there's so many people that are involved in this that come
uh,
from so many different backgrounds that you would never have an idea. We have
oh
people
yeah.
in our community that have helped out and donated so much
Oh,
money
I've heard some amazing
to
stories.
people. Yeah. Um, there's so much support. There's so much happening. It is crazy. I mean, I do I do this much to help. There are people out there that have done this much to help. Yeah, and I have so much respect for those guys.
Yeah,
And
I've heard from like Frunty. I mean, Hogston. I can't help but talk about Hogston all the time because I've never seen a community yet to this point rally around somebody the way that they did Hogston. And when you talk to him, it'll bring him to
yeah,
tears every time if you say the wrong words. But shout
yeah,
out
yeah.
to
So
GTR and all those
yeah.
guys that do let Larson and just so many people who rallied around him.
So the whole,
Go ahead.
yeah, sorry, the whole community rallied around that guy when his accident happened, and people started finding out about it and everything. Yeah, like his community on his Discord, like Larson, just straight away, bang, in started
No
organising.
hesitation.
No questions, no nothing. Yeah, then people started helping him, and he's been going through this now for best part of it's somewhere between 3 and 6 months now.
Yeah, it happened right when I got on, so it's been about
So
5 months at least.
yeah, so like I saw the pictures, I saw the
Yeah.
injury, yeah, but it wasn't until I met him in person at my house at 3 o'clock in the morning did it really hit home just how bad an injury he had.
Hmm.
And I can't thank the community enough for what they've done for him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it even just recently, right? What started out as I'm nearly there for my rig, but something's happened and I can't. I need to use that money for that now. Yeah, so it started out with two donations.
Instantly
I was one
it
of them.
popped. Instantly.
There was two donations that started it. Yeah, I was one of them. There was somebody else, right? And then I was having a Discord chat with another community member, and they said, "What's left?" And that person then just went bang. He didn't just close the coffin. He closed the coffin with a hard shut and then nailed it shut
Yep.
with like 50 nails around it, and it was amazing to be a part of that.
Yeah, I was there. I
Like,
was there on that stream. That was and I mean it definitely watching people get emotional. Grown men, this stuff is important, man. It's amazing when you see it in real time.
yeah. So if Mrs. Marley was here now, she'd tell you I can be a proper emotional wuss. We have this thing in the UK called DIY SOS. And you guys have a show in America where they used to shout, "Move that bus."
Yeah. It was like the 24-hour house thing.
Yeah. So I love watching that type of show where like it helps people and there's like a story behind why they're being helped and everything. Dude, I've cried at those shows.
Yeah.
They make I will cry at those shows because I am such an emotional wuss sometimes. And yeah, so like Hoggy doing all of that is like Hoggy actually didn't do anything. The people doing that for Hoggy.
Hoggy went through the hard stuff. He
Yeah.
went and removed his kneecap from his knee.
Yeah. And didn't even know that he had done it until
Right.
like
I remember watching him. I
Yeah.
remember watching him when he was saying, like, you guys, there's something wrong with my knee. Like, I'm gonna have to go get checked out. And it killed me that happened. That he had to go and being in the emergency room on his son's birthday. And just shout out to Hoggy, dude. You are one strong dude. You are a tough guy. Out there at the expo, all the stuff he did, man. I try to support Hoggy as much as possible. That dude is a grinder. He's fast. All the speed demons are awesome. I believe it's TCR, if I'm not mistaken, is that team.
Tidgeny Community Racers. Yeah.
And Tidgeny, I mean, those guys are. Shout out to Tidgeny too. I mean, always putting out. If you don't know Tidgeny, you need to check him out. There's so many track guides and every single week, and he's fun. He's very animated, and it's just good times. Quality stuff, man. Quality stuff. Is there a go-to person? I know you're in ACC. Is there like a go-to channel that you go to watch to kind of get yourself ready for your races, or you just jump in and wish for the best?
So obviously I mod for Rory still to this day, but I work as well. So like I've got like three screens at work, and I'll be working on two, and then the Rory stream will be on another one, and I'll have the chat up. I dip in and out all the time. I'm like a yo-yo. I'm in and out of it, and like I don't really spend much time modding in there. There's some other guys that are in there constantly that look after it really well and everything. But I'm still part of the team, and we've all become quite good friends. We a number of us met at the expo, and it was awesome meeting all those guys because we've been talking for like a year, 18 months, 2 years. We've been talking on Rory's chat, and then we got to meet people, and it was just like, yeah, it was awesome.
What blew me away at the expo is y'all some giants, man. There's some.
Dude, I'm 5'10", maybe 5'11" with my trainers on, yeah, and I was the midget.
I saw that. Like, I'm the same height as you. I would like, what the heck? Dude, there's some giants over there, right? Even Hoxton's a big dude. I'm like, man, we sit in these dang chairs for hours and hours and hours. You don't realize these guys are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Man, some monsters out there and racing race cars. I wonder if it would be the same, because I know like race car. I don't know if I don't know enough about racing to know kind of what these guys' body types are like. But I remember just watching Gran Turismo and hearing that Jan was exceptionally tall for racing and didn't necessarily fit into the cars. I know we do all this stuff to our rigs and stuff. I wonder what it's like in real life if they were to go to like a track day and to see if all these giants could fit in these cars. Like, what would Rory be like in an actual race car?
Well, I mean, like if you're talking about GT3s, then it's pretty straightforward because you've got seat adjustment and all that kind of steering wheel adjustment, all that kind of stuff. But if you're talking about single seaters, they're shaped around the person that's racing the car. The cockpit is shaped around it. The seat is shaped. It's positioned. The pedals are positioned for that person. So it's kind of like it's really, really difficult to say how anybody would be in a race car because everything is so individual. Like you build the car around the driver.
Right. And I mean, it's a very athletics. I mean, I was one of those guys growing up that was like, you got this sport, this sport, this sport. What's the best sport? Boom, 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 basketball, blah, 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 blah. And then you'd get someone who'd be like, well, NASCAR or racing or this. Would be like, that's not a sport. Now that I understand a little bit, I realize that these guys are in insane shape. I watch reflex videos because I'm a master elite personal trainer. I'm a performance coach. I work with a lot of athletes and honing in on their skill sets. And I've started to watch like, how do I get faster? Well, you got to improve your eye responses, your hand responses, your twitch responses, your endurance. You got to stay in a certain kind of shape because I can only imagine how many, I'll probably calculate it, how many calories you burn per hour in racing. I know we get sweaty, we get hungry, we sit here, we get fatigue. I know all of us stand up and our backs are soaked, so you're expelling the sweat. What do you think that there's a kind of a peak physique for racing? And does that compare to like different F1 cars or whether it's GT series and a NASCAR? Because you'll see some NASCAR guys back in the day, man, smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, hop in the car, be good to go. And now you see this young group of people, the Maxes, the Johns. I look at these guys and they're young, very fit people. Is there a certain physique for that?
No, I don't think there's a certain physique. I mean, look at the Formula One drivers; they all weigh a buck 90. Do you know what I mean? They're all tall, skinny guys. When you get to GT3 racing, like the cars have to weigh even in kart racing, karts have to weigh a certain amount. So if you're really super light, they add lead weight to the kart to get the kart to that weight. And if you're like, say. When was it? 2019. I ended up going to Spa to do a Club 100 go-karting event, right? Now, back then, I was pushing probably 17 and a half stone. So in pounds, I mean, I don't know what that is in pounds, actually. But I was like 100 and what was I, 117 kilos, something like that. Anyway, so I kind of like had this whole like I was big and I was slow and I was on a kart track with um, people like Super GT
Yeah.
and
Super lean.
I got super lean, and they were going around in a train, like 15 of them, just all bumper to tail to bumper, absolutely like a snake. Yeah, and they were just overtaking me. I mean, I got overtaken so many times that weekend, it was unbelievable. Like the first day of racing, I got back to the hotel, the arm pump in my arms, I was dead, and I had to go and do another 8 hours of it the next day, and
That's
it's
when you
just
really start to use them shoulders. So you
yeah,
start
yeah. So,
leaning.
but I was I was big. I mean, I'm now 91 kilos, roughly 91, 92 kilos. I've lost a lot of weight. So I'd love to go and do something like that again, but racing is all about car weight. Even though you see it, Formula One, they get out of the car when they finish, they go and stand on the scales because they've got to be
Ah.
weighed. That's
Wow, I didn't know that.
so,
That's important. I know
yeah.
that I know that like ballasting and things like that is important to try to. There's so much tuning, and with ACC, going into, I didn't realize. I mean, I started out on GT, and there's minimal tuning, and even that can get overwhelming. You'll get a race that has tuning in it, and people start freaking out, trying to figure out who's got what tune, share tune, share tune, share tune, who's got a tune for this, who got a tune for that. I love the guys who just jump in randomly and switch around cars, like Greasy. He's also a karter, 9-time undefeated kart champ out in Canada, but and he's got that tall, lean, skinny frame. So I'm wondering if maybe that's kind of the alpha for that. But when you get into ACC, there is pages of tuning. How have you adapted to that? And if you can give anybody any advice before they get into ACC,
I,
what should
I, I kind of haven't adapted to any of it. I've got a friend called Ryan, um, and
we all
and
need a Ryan.
Ryan, like he used to race AMA superbikes in America. Like the guy's a genuine superbike legend. Do you know what I mean? Like he he has he knows how to set cars up, set bikes up. He's got an engineering background. So like he spends hours upon hours building setups for ACC for me to drive. Like literally,
Jeez.
like that's what he does. Like um because of the time differences and everything, we he will build a setup, send it to me. I'll jump in my rig, I'll go and drive it, and I'll say, right, it does this, does that, does this. He'll then tweak it and send it back to me, and I'll be like, oh wow, I've just shaved a second off my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's crazy how important it is.
yeah, so a lot of what you see when you see me racing on ACC is to do with my good friend Ryan. Like I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now without his support and his help. And I'm learning as I'm going. I'm learning to do certain things and everything. It's like this race we were doing today. Like Ryan's not had the time to help us because he's got a family. He's got a young
Right.
family as well. So I had to tweak the setup. So I was like, I took a setup that we had earlier this year and I drove it and it didn't feel quite right. So I changed this and I drove it. I did 10 laps and I said, okay, I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to change this. And gradually I built a half decent setup and I went from running like a 1 minute 30 to running low 129 around Red Bull Ring just from doing setup tweaks and everything. And people might say, well, that's pretty fast. Well, I think the aliens are running 25s around there.
Yeah. The aliens. I mean, I don't know
Uh,
what what it really takes to be a sim racer, but I know that there's a significant gap between people we consider aliens and like your
yeah,
recreational sim racer, and I want to break into that just to get a taste of it at least, man. But
yeah,
it's if you're not tuning, If you're not taking the time to reach out into the communities, if you're not discording, if you're not trying to grow your craft all the time, you're never going to get there. And in this game, you'll get left behind real quick. If you take some time off, or a new track or a new combo comes out, I know GT is constantly changing like that. I know ACC has SimGrid. So there's a lot of things to stay on top of. Is there any advice you would give to anybody as far as like not hopping around too much? I know in ACC, it's more about finding your car, finding your tune and what works for you and kind of sticking to that a little bit more so than GT for sure.
Yeah, so if you're getting into the sport, I mean, Gran Turismo is a lot easier to drive. And if you want to get into the sport and do it quick and easy and not spend lots of money, then Gran Turismo is where you need to start, and you can jump between the cars because everything is BOP. Everyone's driving the same car. There's always a meta car in Gran Turismo. It always has been.
It's for the lack of tuning, I think, too.
Yeah. So it's always been that way. So yeah, to jump in it and race and have fun, Gran Turismo. I can't play Gran Turismo right now because I've moved away from Logitech and Fanatec and I've gone to Sim Magic. Yeah.
We'll definitely get into that here for a bit.
Yeah. But the thing is there is a thing called a Sigma Cortex little electronic box. Yeah. Well, now I've got full Sim Magic, I can go and get that box and I'll be able to play Gran Turismo 7 again.
Do you want to come back to Gran Turismo 7 at all, or is
I will come and race in Gran Turismo again in lobbies and community stuff for fun. I probably won't get back into Gran Turismo properly. I'm enjoying ACC, and with AC Evo right around the corner.
Yeah.
I am so looking forward to that. That
looks like it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, the stuff we saw at the expo, the stuff that Jardier filmed and put on YouTube and everything, and the conversations that are going around at the moment. I know there's lots of people saying lots of stuff, ACC's dead. Well, ACC's not dead. They're not going to do an update at the moment because they've got AC Evo coming out. That doesn't mean that they're not going to update ACC.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to do. I've got no contacts with anybody, but I can, from a gaming point of view, if you want to continue making money, you've got to update stuff. AC, and then you've got the rumors there, AC Evo's coming out, and AC Evo's not going to have GT3 cars in it. Well, if you look at what's happening with AC Evo, why has Coach Dave and SimGrid come out publicly and said they are teaming, they're working with AC Evo?
I guess I think they got to maximize the market regardless.
Yeah. So like Rory's got this thing on his on his emotes where it says 3+3. Well, let's just use that and just go, okay, so you wouldn't make those business decisions if there's something wasn't happening in the background.
Right.
So
right.
I'm all set for AC Evo. I never played AC, and I've heard all about the mods and all this stuff that you can do for that game and everything, and I have no idea about any of it. I was so GT7 and wasn't PC and all that kind of stuff that I'm an old boy just breaking into this hobby. Yeah. I've been doing it. I've played games since I was 16 years old. I've played on every single PlayStation, but I've only just got into sim racing, and I'm just learning how to sim race. I'm just learning how to do the PC stuff. I'm just learning about getting in the communities. I'm still at the infancy stage with my YouTube stream. I've got 600 subscribers. I only stream Tuesdays and Thursdays, and at the weekends that'd be Friday night, that might be Saturday, and sometimes I do like an 8 or 9 hour stream on a Saturday if I'm not doing anything with the family. I do the endurance races on a Sunday from 4 o'clock. Don't do them every week. I do them a lot, but not every week. So it because I'm not full time,
Right.
it just takes time to build stuff and for people to come and find you and everything. And things like what you're doing now with this behind the wheel stuff and everything, yeah. I mean, you've had Grim and Erratic on here, you've had Hoggy on here, Eric B. Who was your first one?
Papa's House of Games.
Papa. Yeah, so there you
Yes,
go,
sir.
Papa. I haven't seen the Papa episode, but
Good
I've
one.
caught
We
up on
launched. We
it.
launched it. It was a good start for sure. It was a good
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
Everybody's trying to.
Um,
Everybody's trying to do something new. I saw Led was doing learning with Led. Like he's got a whole new series about teaching you how to properly race and just kind of he's helping out a lot of people. I'm probably going to jump in there and help out. I wanted to before we get too far. You said there's a
mhm,
lot of learning happening. Did you
mhm.
start with Sim Magic, or you didn't start? You started with the Logitech. Why?
Yeah, yeah.
Why Sim Magic? Why was it Sim Magic and not Fanatec and not
Oh, no,
Monzo?
no, no. I went G29. I sold that and I got the DD Pro with the
Huggy.
GT wheel. With the GT wheel. Um, uh, I had that for a number of time, and then I moved to. Hey, Hoggy, how you doing, buddy? I'm gutted that whatever's happens. So don't worry about it, buddy. It's just sim racing, dude. We're all good. Don't worry. Yeah, so then I sort of jumped to ACC, and um, there was a couple of things that started happening, and then yeah, basically, uh, yeah, the I got I got gifted the Alpha Mini and the GT Neo. Actually, no, I got gifted the Neo, and then there was something we needed like from Fanatec, but it was like £300 or like 299 or whatever. It was shipped into the UK with import duties and all that kind of stuff. And
Yikes.
so so then I got gifted the Alpha Mini, and then I moved like just went to did that and did the ACC, and then I broke my V3s recently. Snapped the load cell pedal. You probably
Oh,
saw it. Yeah, snap. I snapped a
I got
load
V3s.
cell.
I don't
Yeah,
like snap.
mate, I snapped it. I had the hardest of the hard. I had the hard elastomers in there, and I was pumping that thing for a good
You
year.
snap the pedal,
Not the pedal, not the pedal, the load cell.
the load cell. You snap.
Yeah, the load cell snapped on the
That's why they call
rivets,
them
and
Marley Diesel, folks.
yeah, yeah. So I was racing, and I was in a race, and I literally had to scream out to Mrs. Marley, go and get the WD-40. Something's going on with my brake. I need it sorted. I had her down there squirting WD-40, trying to figure it out and everything. And then Hoggy, chill, man. Like Hoggy, this is direct to you. Do not be upset. Do not worry about that race, dude. I don't care.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Anyway, so like so yeah, go back and then like I finished the race and everything, and I started looking, and then like I noticed there's like a cable like had come away, and I'm like, what on earth? And I sort of took the pedal apart, and there's two cables that had come away, and I sort of took it apart a bit further, and then it sort of just fell apart in my like the
Oh,
actual load cell. Just fell apart in my hands, and I'm like, okay. I took some photos. I sent it to Fanatec, um, and that was on a Saturday, I think. Um, my I had a little bit of money from my YouTube monetization stuff and everything, but my oldest son, basically lent me the money to buy my P2000s with the haptic motors. He gave me the rest of the money that I needed, so I ordered those and got those in, and they were here on the Monday. Um, and Fanatec just, yep, not a problem. New load cell sent out. That got sent out.
really?
Yep, yep.
Dang. I've heard a little bit better rumors about from Fanatec. Some people I remember when I first started, it was like, I was waiting
Yeah,
forever for stuff. And now
yeah,
I'm hearing a little bit better that they're getting a little bit more snappy. That's good for Fanatec.
yeah, yeah. That is good. It is good. They went through a real rough patch, and
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed in the lack of updates and firmware updates and that with the wheels and everything. But then the DD Pro got replaced with the DD Elite, so there's all these other things going on, and so many people were hating on Fanatec. I love Fanatec. I think it's one of the best wheel stuff out there.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean I can't
it's
can't
it's a
complain.
lot. It's a lot of money for what you You're paying
It's
out
an
a lot of money.
investment. Yeah, it wasn't
Um,
cheap.
but for PlayStation gaming and stuff like that, and then you can unplug it and plug it into your PC and use it.
Yeah.
It's some of the best stuff out there. I think the change that I've made to Sim Magic, I'm feeling a lot better and more confident on with my car control and everything. But I think that's because I've moved away from Gran Turismo and I'm doing more serious sim race stuff now. So it's it's a double-edged sword kind of thing. Like, um, yeah, like
Well, I
I
mean,
would,
it's so I've met a lot of people when it comes to their wheel preference, and I was talking to Eric and a lot of the RSR guys. They're all on Monza, so you got to have
Mhm,
like a special connection and things like that. But
mhm,
it's really cool that there's different strokes for different folks, man. There's
mhm.
different there's all kinds of different wheels out there. I personally I got the DD1
Yep.
with the F1 podium, and the wheel's been
Mhm.
fun. I do want to get a wider wheel. I see that they kind of have these extensions that can maybe give me
Yep.
a little bit more width. And then they have the round wheel. Do you like the F1 style, or you like the round wheel preferably?
Right now I'm on the GT Neo, so it's a GT like F1 style.
Okay, so the
Um,
one we're seeing, the round wheel, you're not actually using that one.
hang on a minute. Sorry, let me have a look. Give me a second because I closed it, so I wasn't watching it
Oh
all the
yeah.
time.
No, the one you showed, it looks. I'm pretty sure it's a round wheel.
Yeah, so that is the old stuff that I had. That's the DD Pro with the
Gotcha.
with the GT wheel, the Gran Turismo wheel on it, with a very very famous QR1 connector on it. That QR1 connector used to belong to Rory.
Oh, is it? See,
Yeah,
that's why you're
yeah.
so fast. You over here, you got.
No, 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 no. I like that wheel. I sent that to someone. I sent
Nice.
that. Yeah, I sent that to someone because
See,
he needed to
paying it
pick me up,
forward.
and I sent that to someone. And and I had a message from him, and I'll never forget it. And it just said, "This damn thing's a cheat code." It was mad.
I
It was
gotta,
like,
I gotta get a round wheel, man. I gotta get a round wheel. Oh
it,
man, dude,
it,
we've been killing it today. We're going on 2 hours. I wanna make sure we get
oh,
to we get
sorry.
to the community a little bit. We were gonna have shortened. We were only gonna do 45 minutes, so we were trying to move really fast in the
Mm,
beginning. But I mean, the
yeah.
race unfortunately got taken down and all that stuff. I'm sure we'll find out. We'll be able to kind of tap into Hoggy later, and I'm sure he'll a rant or two about it. But I wanna get to the community a little bit. I want you guys to get some questions out here from Marley. If you guys got anything you want to ask him, he's an awesome dude. It's been this has been a great morning, a lot of laughs. I really enjoyed hearing, kind of the more serious side of you, being a hard worker, being a family man, a lot of your values that explain, why you're here and why you push so hard. The monetization journey has been very impressive. Hearing about all the community members, it's really awesome because I can name off completely different community members who've done some very similar things for me. And you have your own set of community members. And every time I talk to folks, sometimes they overlap, but you hear names that you've never heard before, hearing Ryan and hearing these, like, shout out to you guys because life is about community. If you walk around as an individual and you try to do things on your own and you can do that, man, more power to you. But a lot of people, again, the stories that we hear, oftentimes you hear so much credit given to everybody else. And I really glad that Behind the Wheel can kind of share those moments and really push that out there. I want to give shout outs to everybody who's been in the chat today with Alto. We've had the whole Early Birds crew in here, from Ruthless
Mhm.
to Jocko. We've had RSR in here. We got Crooked in here. We've had Smurple, obviously, always supporting. Young Man has been a great community member. Jammins, RL250's been in here. Misa, obviously, big
Yeah,
supporter of everybody. Jackhammer. We've had Lappin in here. Everybody in the beginning from we
where's
had Wrench, Big
so,
Joe, Sim, just So many
So
great people.
yeah,
Cloudy,
yeah.
and that, you said Cloudy is your daughter there. So we've got Cloudy in here.
She's my youngest. So Crooked's asking, is my real middle name Diesel? No, no, my first name isn't Marley either. That is my nickname. I've been called Marley ever since I was 13 years old because I used to smoke some stuff that wasn't legal. And then I got Diesel when I went to work for a double glazing firm who had a Ford like a Ford Transit van, and like it sounded like a diesel, but it was actually a four-star petrol, and I filled the thing up with diesel and
Oh,
blew the engine up on my first day of working for them. So that's where Marley Diesel came from. That's where I just linked the two together, and that's what I've gained and raced with ever since. So. Um, yeah, that's where that came from.
wow.
Yeah, LVP. Yeah, I grew up watching Senna race, Damon Hill race, Michael Schumacher. Like, man, we used to. I used to love watching those guys. They were like. I wouldn't say they were like gods to me when I was younger, but that just sounds so wrong now with my faith where it is. They were just like superhuman. They were awesome. So yeah. It's been a lot. It's been a varied life for me. And
Well
like with
seasoned. Well seasoned.
so yeah, well seasoned. Yeah, yeah. I literally wouldn't be the man I am today without experiencing the things that I've experienced.
Amen.
And I, whilst so I have to be really careful with some things because I look back on it with some fond memories, but I know how stupid I was.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff I did.
Yeah, we all
Just
grew up.
yeah. Like I put it this way. There was one point in my life where I just like was looking up and going,
I got some clients
do
today, Smurp.
do do something with me or put me 6 foot under.
Yeah.
And I guess he's done something with me.
Well, Marley, for me, it's been a pleasure, sir. Our friendship grows. I feel like every week, every time we get a chance to talk. We've both been really excited about this episode. There's been so much communication. I don't know if everybody knows all the work that goes behind the scenes, and getting up really early this morning and prepping out the scene because I build it out fresh every time, and just making sure everybody's working. We didn't have too many technical difficulties today. Maybe some misspellings, or like my dang name tag won't go to the center, but that's YouTube, and man is constantly trying to figure out new things. I see you messing with your camera right there too.
Someone just said about my wooden truck that was built by
What
my
is
granddad.
that? That's amazing. Let's get a better shot of that. Go back up there. Let's see that thing.
Yeah. So
That's handmade by Grandpa, huh?
Yeah. He's been dead a few years now, but that was left to me. That's all handmade.
I see your Gixxer up there.
Yeah, my little look, that's that is the. I used to have this bike. Hang on, let's put this back level.
Nice. That's the Strat edition right there. That's a Gen 1.
Yeah. That's K1. That's what I used to have. Yep, that's the bike I had.
Those are beautiful bikes. They age very, very well.
Yeah. So that's that.
What kind of mic you got there? That thing looks nice too.
It's the Elgato. It's the Elgato. Everything's the Elgato face cam.
Dang, this
Elgato
guy.
mic.
Elgato running the game.
Yeah, just got everything. So
I'm still on my cheapy Amazon mic, so I hope it works out. I'm still on a Logi 1080 cam.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it?
If it works, it works, man. If it works, it works. Hopefully,
exactly.
hopefully we keep growing and things get better and the quality gets better. I can't do nothing about this, but
mate, I literally like right now, like this whole community thing, like my channel being monetized and everything. Yeah, like I've played computer games for years, but now when I come and do it and I stream and talk to you guys, and then people go and watch my streams and everything, I'm getting a check from YouTube now every month.
You're a pro simmer.
Whether it's for 50 quid or £100 or whatever, I don't actually mind. I just love doing what I'm doing with you guys. Like we have so much fun, like in chats. You guys all rib me out badly. about my driving sometimes, and I make mistakes quite a lot. I said earlier, I hate it when people wreck me. I make mistakes and I wreck people, but one thing I will always do is I will race to the end of the race, and as soon as I'm done, I will go and find that person. I will go and watch what happened, and then I will go and say, listen, this is what I think happened. I'm really sorry for my part in that. And then I would say 9 times out of 10, we get a really positive feedback, and then I talk to those guys. I talk to guys on ACC now that I've wrecked in the past, but because I've said sorry, they go, "Oh, you're a decent guy. I'm not going to report you." So it's been awesome.
That's a huge part of being a grown man is owning up. You know, I don't hate a lot of things. Hate's a bad word. I don't like when people come into the stream and they try to start some junk or start some chaos. Like, let it be in the past. We're not pro racers, you know what I mean? And even those guys, when you watch the videos, my favorite videos are Corvette versus Porsche, and those guys are rough with each other. So I don't know why we're so sensitive. But if you do have a collision, if you do have an altercation on track, it's so much easier to come in and just, we're reachable. Hit somebody up on Discord, hit somebody up on their channel, be like, hey, my bad, are you good? I'm good. And it's usually going to, the end result's usually going to be two grown men or grown people or whoever you are being, yeah, my bad too, man, and let's move on. We've had a couple of bad seeds that come in and they don't want to let bygones be bygones, and we just don't got time for that kind of stuff, man. I'm a grown man. Let it go. Move on.
Yeah. That's the way. It's just the way it is. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much. Listen, there is so much more important stuff happening in the world. Let's put it into reality. Yeah, I've got a roof over my head. I've got food. I've got shelter, and I've got family. There are so many people in the world that don't have a roof over their head tonight, that haven't had a meal today, that have got other problems going on, and we need to remember that we're really lucky. Like, we are really lucky.
Oh yeah, dude, so fortunate.
If we picked ourselves up and put ourselves in their situations, we wouldn't know how to deal with it.
No, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, and
I've been homeless, man. I forgot to appreciate.
I lived in a car before. I lived in a car when I at my rock bottom. I was living in a car in some woods, and that was pretty rough because it was in the winter, and that's when I remember calling out, going, "Yeah, put me 6 foot under, or
do something with me." Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
And
yes, sir. Well, look at you now, man. Look around for a second. Look at that room one more time, and just you got Mrs. Marley who's coming in and out, dude. You got the 5 kiddos. You sound blessed. You have the amazing career now. You have amazing friends. You're monetized. Your channel's growing. We're topping 600. You got all this positivity in your life, man. It's been awesome for me to hear the story. I just the reaction from everybody and all the viewers and the likes and everybody. And obviously, there's so many people who support you and who are big fans of you and your journey and your story, dude. I'm very grateful that we were able to get to know you a little bit today. I feel like, you know, we've become closer as friends. I feel that like that much more. I hope my community has been introduced to, you know, the Marley Diesel effect and understands that whether you're GT or ACC, man, it's all sim racing. We're all having some fun. And just come in, say hi, join us. There's different times for different folks. Making the time happen this week, dude. Thank you so much for all the information, all the effort that goes into this, dealing with me going back and forth and all the family stuff with the holidays. So, dude, thank you so much, Marley, for being here. I'd like to give you a moment to say goodbye to everybody and just kind of conclude, brother.
Okay, so I just want to say big thank you to so many people. There is a long list, but I'm gonna just... You guys that have helped me, you all know what you've done for me. I've had support from many different parts of the community, and I won't ever forget anything that any of you done for me. I want to say a big shout out to Mrs. Marley, because she is the rock in our family. She keeps it all together, and she does so much behind the scenes that enables me to come and sit here and do this. And she is so selfless with it all as well. So She is flipping awesome, as much as I don't ever tell her that really often enough. So yeah, I'm really grateful for all my kids as well. And I just want to keep on pushing on and getting on. I think this corner of the internet could really become something, and I really think my channel's going to become something. Vikings will, Rory's is, Hoggy's is, Sparks Theory is growing, Erratic, Grim. There's so many different people. Jackie, Early Birds, like the impact that we're having right now is massive, and we really want
For
to.
sure.
I really want this to keep on steamrolling. I think it's going to be like this time next year. Let's have another catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do so. I got big plans with Behind the Wheel. I want to do like a kind of where are they now, maybe a year later and stuff. I've had so much interest in it. I've gotten a lot of message from folks. We have episodes planned out. I have an Upper Cumber series that I want to do, and I just encourage everybody, to find your niche. Find something you do. I've been a storyteller and I listened to storytellers my whole life. I grew up in the orphanages and I grew up in childcare. So I've always had like a dozen new brothers every month, it felt like. And getting to know people and shaking hands and really figuring out, hey, are we going to get along is something that I like to do right off the bat. So, you guys, as we all grow, it gets harder and harder to engage with everybody kind of the same way, but we try to keep that same energy and we try to keep, reaching out to folks, and your community really starts to take shape, man. It's been an awesome to be a part of. It's been awesome to be with the early birds and to meet you guys on the other side of the pond. That's a special thing about YouTube is that we never would have met. You know what I mean? They're just circumstances would have never crossed paths, but through networking and through YouTubing and through sim racing, man, I feel strongly in saying that it's been a pleasure and an honor to meet you, man. I got a lot of love and respect for your story and brothers in faith, and I really appreciate you being here today, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been really good fun. Thank you to the whole of chat for sitting there and bubbling this up and everything. It's been really good to see that moving up and everything. You guys are really interacting. You're really interacting with what Vikings doing, and I love it.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm gonna.
Thank you, brother.
Say goodbye.
I appreciate you, brother. You have a good day, and I'll catch you out there.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Much love. Bye.
Oh man. What a show. Holy smokes, dude, we're 2 hours in. That's the longest episode we've done. Episode 6 is in the books. What do you guys think? You guys think Marley Diesel was a great addition to the Behind the Wheel series? I do. Again, I try to tell people, man, it's not about the number next to your name. It's everybody has a story. All of you are grown people, even the young people. We aren't going to have young people on here, but we appreciate you guys for following. And we're hoping that we're setting better examples, and we're hoping that the communities are getting stronger and getting bigger, and we're overlapping more and more and trying to blend any barriers that exist. Everybody has a uniqueness to them, and that's what I'm fascinated with. Some of you guys know my background. I've worked with kiddos and I've worked with people and at-risk youth, and I've been involved in mental health, and I'm so against cyberbullying, and I'm so against any kind of attacks on anybody. And I know some people come to the channel, we've had some rougher moments where we've gotten into some arguments with some folks, but a lot of those folks have become friends, and shout out to them for that maturity. All of you guys, Jocko, Early Birds, everybody we mentioned earlier, Misa, thank you so much. All the new members. It's really been an honor. And this Behind the Wheel series, it touches me, and it makes me work hard throughout the week and get all the other things that we have to do in life so that we can, spend 2 hours here getting to know somebody for nothing other than to get to know them. We're not racing. We're not sitting here running the wheels. You guys see the taping that I have on mine, just for my grips, but it's awesome, guys. I mean, everybody has something that they're doing different. So I hope you guys go check out the 5 episodes before this. Grim and Erratic were an amazing addition to the community. Greasy Sam Squash, Hogston, PHG, man, these guys are all legends. So you guys go check them out. Check out the Behind the Wheels. Everything's going to be leaked. If you haven't already, man, go subscribe to Marley Diesel's channel. Dude's awesome. If you love ACC, if you love GT, you just love hanging out, go check him out. I appreciate everybody for coming in. I love you guys. Until next time, y'all, Viking King is out.
our might. With strategy tight and teamwork supreme, in the game of kings we achieve our dreams. Feel the power, unleash the roar. Viking King, we're taking the throne. Through every game we've grown and we've shown, with courage in hearts and fire in our veins. The saga continues through victories and pains. Feel the power, unleash the roar. Viking King, we're taking the throne. Through every game we've grown and we've shown, with courage in hearts and fire in our veins. The saga continues through victories and pains. So gather my brothers, the night is our stage. In this epic journey we write our own page. Drum roll! So gather my brothers, the night is our stage. In this epic journey we write our own page. Viking King, we're taking the throne. Through every game we